Good evening, I'm Greg Sharpe. Our sports ticker brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. The Husker women's basketball team learned today that they will face the Bears from Missouri State. Wednesday night at PBA in round one of the NIT. It's the seventh time that the Huskers have been a part of the WNIT tip-off set for 6. You can purchase your tickets now at Huskers.com. Turning to Nebraska baseball, the Huskers weekend series with Nichols will start on Thursday in Manhattan, Kansas. Due to poor weather conditions that are forecast for the Lincoln area, the Huskers and Colonels will play a single game at K-State's Twayton Family Stadium on Thursday at 11, with a doubleheader scheduled for Friday beginning at 2:30. Husker outfielder Cole Evans was named today as the Big Ten's Player of the Week. The Grand Island product went 9 for 11, 3 doubles, 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Huskers stand at 9-4-1 after the game set for tomorrow night at home against the Mavericks of Omaha. First pitch at 6:05. Our pregame coverage begins at 5:30. Husker swimming will be represented by a pair of athletes later this week at the NCAA Swimming and Diving Championships in Knoxville, Tennessee. Diver Kelsey Claremont and swimmer Gina Jorgensen have both qualified to compete. NFL free agency opened today, and it was a big day for former Husker Nick Gates, the offensive lineman who has had several leg injuries as a member of the New York Giants, signed a massive deal with the Washington Commanders. Gates inked a 3-year, $16.5 million contract with Washington. The 1890 Initiative helping Husker student-athletes navigate name, image, and likeness. To learn more or donate, visit 1890nebraska.com. Now get ready for another night of Sports Nightly coming up here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
The 0-2 pitch.
Drilled to left field. Going back is Calvin Hewitt looking up, and it is gone. Home run. Garrett Anglem, and the Huskers have the lead 4-3. And the rebound, Izzy Bourne dribbles out of a double team. Kroll top of the key. 3. You betcha. Off the assist from Izzy Bourne.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back for another week of Sports Nightly here on the Huskers Radio Network. Hope you had a great weekend. It was a busy weekend in Lincoln. You had all the high school boys state basketball tournaments going on. You had Selection Sunday yesterday. A bunch of brackets being filled out, I'm sure, all across the country today. They say office productivity goes way down the next couple of weeks. People get so into their brackets, and the game starting on Thursday.
We talked a lot back on the Super Bowl about how you want to take a day off on the Monday after the Super Bowl.
Yep.
To me, if I had one choice of a day to take off for a sporting event, it's going to be the Thursday and Friday of March Madness. I mean, it is, to me, the best day of the year when you've got games all day, every day. And now that you can watch them all the time, the best place to go is to go find a sports bar or even a sports book. You know, my dad and brother started doing that when my brother was in college, and because then you can watch all the games on at once. I mean, it is basketball wire to wire, literally the first and second round games, and then even the first and second round games are the best days of the year in my mind of all sports.
The first 4 starts tomorrow for the men. The women, I think, start Wednesday for the first 4 for theirs. First year they've done a first 4. They've expanded their field.
I think they did it last year.
Well, this is the first year for the first 4. They went from 64 to 68, so this is the first time they've done that. But they're going to do it at the site that they'll just continue on. The men have done it for some reason in Dayton, Ohio for all these years, and then the team has to leave Dayton and go to wherever they go. I think the women have probably done it the right way. Go ahead and put them at the site they're going to play at so that they don't have an additional travel hop after that. But, yeah, this time tomorrow night, there'll be some games going on. Love it.
Me too. I'm excited.
Love it. It was not what we wanted to hear yesterday on Selection Sunday for either the Husker women or men. I think the men felt like they needed to win some games in Chicago last week to secure themselves an NIT bid. I think we were all hopeful. Then you're hearing teams like North Carolina go, we're not going to take a bid. You're like, okay, well, maybe that opens up a spot. It just didn't happen. And I think the women, I think there was kind of some wishful thinking that they could get in, but I think you kind of felt like they were probably headed to the NIT.
Yeah, I mean, I think that loss at Missouri at the end of the year, that really hurt them. But I think that's probably what's so disappointing is you're talking about maybe 1 or 2 wins away from being back in the NCAA tournament. And, but hey, back back in the postseason, which even Coach Hoiberg the other day was talking about just the importance of being in the postseason. You know, even if it is the NIT, yes, the NCAA tournament is where you ultimately want to be, but how big it is for a program to keep playing right now. And for some of these young players, I mean, you look at a Maggie Mendelson, a Callan Hake, who are young players getting a chance to play in the postseason and see what it's all about, to win and keep winning, and to, you know, just get a feel for it is big. And I think just postseason basketball in Lincoln is going to be fun. I think the way that the Husker fans have shown up for the women's team all year, I think they're going to be right at top 10 in attendance, or right there once again in the top 15 of attendance all year. And so I expect to have a good crowd. And so this team loves to play in front of the crowd inside of Pinnacle Bank Arena. So give them a chance to play one more time at home. Gotta love it.
Sam McEwen posed a pretty interesting question on Twitter this afternoon as it relates to Amy Williams' team. You're in postseason play. Do you use this to maybe play a Maggie Mendelson a little bit more, or a Callan Hake, or even stardom at this point in time, or do you roll with your upperclassmen and the team that got you here? There's two ways to approach it. Use the extra time to get more experience. My guess is Coach Williams will probably go as she has coached this team the whole year. But it's an interesting thought. Do you use the postseason to get more experience for some of your younger players?
Yeah, I mean, I think they'll continue on. I don't think they're going to make a lot of changes right now in a week or 2 weeks. And I mean, this is a competitive group. You know, there's no one more competitive than Amy Williams, and so they're not going just to go and make an appearance. I mean, they're going to go try to win this thing, would be my guess. And you know, how many times too have we seen teams that have made an NIT appearance, and that's really, you know, it's projected them and given them a lift and given them some boost, a confidence boost going into the next season. Now, I know this is a team that played in the NCAA tournament last year, but there's a lot of times that you can build some momentum off of what you do in the NIT. And so I think they're going to go do what they've done and business as usual and go try to win the thing. And it's still going to be a lot of fun, and this will be the last time probably that this group as it is will play together. I mean, I know they got a lot of people that could come back, but there's also some players that are contemplating being done. I mean, Jazz Shelley walked on senior day, Isabel Bourne walked on senior day, and so I think they'll appreciate the time that they've had. And I mean, depending on the matchup, Maggie Mendelson might get to play a lot more. You never know. I mean, in the NIT tournament, if the size is an issue, I think she might get to play. We'll see. I mean, and probably I just think every time she gets out on the court, she feels more and more comfortable. So the more comfortable she feels, the more playing time she's going to get.
And I feel Callan Hake's in that same boat. I mean, there's somebody that's a big part of your future moving forward. She needs to take another step in her development as you move through. The women also, like the men came out last week, the men are going to Spain for a foreign trip. The women are also going to have a foreign trip. I haven't heard the destination yet. I don't know that all the details are ironed out. So they will have a foreign trip to take this summer that I think also can help get a Callan Hake some more time on the court, or the two Kendalls get them some more playing time as well.
And I'll just say, I know they're really, really, really excited about the girls they got coming in next year. They got some talent coming in that they expect to be able to compete and play right away. And so that's what's wild about this group, is it's still a very young group, and they're getting younger because they've got some really exciting talent coming in that are absolutely going to be in the rotation. And then you get Allison Widener back. I doubt she'd be ready to go by the summer trip. That's pushing it a little bit, but you know, yeah, you've got a lot of young talent that this. I know it's disappointing, especially coming off last year, and you got everybody back, but then you have some injuries that you dealt with, but you know, this is a team to be excited about the future. They've got a lot of young talent that they're on the right way up. And I know we all went into this season expecting this team to be back in the NCAA tournament and to maybe even improve on what that seeding is and take another step. But you just had some unfortunate blows to the injuries that really hurt this team. Sam Hybe back in the summer, and then Allison Widener. And it took Sam Hybe a while to get back to where she was 100%. And so, yeah, I think there's a lot to be excited about. And I think they're going to use this as an opportunity to get better and build towards the future. Absolutely.
Now, how you have to look at the transfer portal too. That's just the way it is now in college sports. You need to kick the tires on some people that are going to be out there. Today was really kind of one of the first days a lot of people flooded the list. I saw there was over 100 entries today on the men's side alone, and that's where Nebraska got Matty Kroll last year out of the transfer portal. So I think, you have to. I don't think you could just ignore the transfer portal. I think you have to look around and go, can that person make us better, or can this person make us better, and make some decisions that way?
Yeah, I think so. But I think for the women, too, and we'll see, Matty Kroll was on a team that went to the Sweet 16 last year. So I think there's probably a lot more women that you would want to bring into this kind of program after the tournament. Whereas with the men, you got there's just a lot of, I feel like we talked about this last week, but there's a lot of parity in men's basketball where you can go get a guy from a team that, a mid-major team or even a smaller division and that could come in and make an immediate impact, teams that didn't make the NCAA tournament, whereas I think for the women, a lot of the players that you feel like could make an immediate impact might still be playing right now.
Yeah, could be. But yeah, that's out there. And, at this time a year ago, I don't think anybody was thinking that Matty Kroll would be a part of the Husker program. And then there she was, and a big part of this team coming up this year. So it'll be interesting to see that. The men, because the men have held a lot of scholarships back. They only signed the one young guy in November. They got scholarships held back for the portal coming up in this month. So that Nate Lenzer and Adam Howard and Ernie Ziegler are just pouring over those names that are jumping in there and seeing if there is a connection for them to go grab somebody to fill some of those things. It is too bad that the men don't get one more crack to play. I think that team probably hated the way it ended for them. That was not their best effort last week against Minnesota. So I know they were really holding their breath that they got a chance to play at least one more time together, but it wasn't meant to be.
I know, and again, it's just so you're talking about one or two more wins for the women to be in the NCAA tournament, and you're talking about one or two more wins for the men to be in the postseason with the NIT. And so, you can go back and think, man, this or this goes this way, and maybe it's a different outcome. But yeah, and as much as that, the fans rallied around that men's basketball team, I think everybody just was hoping for one more chance to get to see them play. And I noticed Sam Griesel put out a tweet about just being a dream getting to play in front of this crowd. And so I think for him, did he want to get the team to the postseason? Yeah, but I think for him, this ultimately, he said it all along. He's got a good head on his shoulders about, it's more than basketball for him. He wanted to make an impact and give back to the community, and this was a dream. And he got to play in front of the team, in front of the crowd that he dreamed in front of playing in front of for a year. And so I think he'll look back on it with no regrets.
Folks, First Interstate Bank, built for you. Learn more at www.firstinterstatebank.com, member FDIC. Full show tonight, our first baseball show. Will Bolt will be here in hour number 2, talk about the red-hot Huskers who've won 9 of their last 10 games. As we mentioned in the ticker, they've made an adjustment to their schedule for the weekend series with Nichols. We're supposed to have another frigid blast of cold air with some precipitation rolling through, so they're moving that series down to K-State. They're going to play Nichols Thursday midday and then try to get a doubleheader in on Friday to try to salvage some games from that series. They got yesterday's game was called off because of just frigid wind chill indices that we had blow through Lincoln, so it did not get the final game of the series with Illinois State. So they're going to try and move that. Their game tomorrow night with Omaha is still on at Haymarket Park. It's supposed to be a pretty nice day tomorrow. Temperatures in the 50s tomorrow. That'll feel balming. I have to wear my shorts tomorrow at the ballpark for that one. But 6:05 tomorrow night with the Mavericks, but the weekend series moved to Manhattan. Softball's still on. They're going to Lawrence to play this weekend for their series. You're going to be headed to Tulsa later this week. Husker Wrestling will be down there for March Madness?
Madness, yeah.
Madness.
March Madness, yeah. I'm excited. Excited to get to go see it. I've been one time, and it was... I've said this with gymnastics. A lot of times it can be like sensory overload. It is sensory overload with college wrestling. And what's wild about it too is because the team race is in play almost the entire time. And so you have all these different teams cheering for guys. You might have Penn State guys cheering for Iowa. You might have Penn State fans cheering for Iowa guys because they might be in the team race and need an Iowa guy to beat an Oklahoma State guy or vice versa. So it's like you have all these different fan bases that are cheering for certain guys to win so that their guys can get the points. And it is just, it's bonkers. It's so loud. It's so fun. And so I'm excited to get a chance to get to go again. And we got a lot of guys in the lineup that are headed down there that could do some big things down there. So I'm excited.
Should get some All-Americans out of it for Mark Manning's team. And speaking of All-Americans, what a weekend for Husker men's and women's track and field. They did very, very well at the NCAA Indoor Championships over the weekend. I mean, this was one of the better showings for Nebraska in the last decade. Almost
everybody that went was an All-American, and not just All-American, but finished in the top 5. You know, you had a lot of athletes that podium in the top 5 were a podium finish. I watched a lot of it. It was exciting. It was fun to watch. And you and I were talking earlier, the future is very, very bright for Nebraska track and field. I mean, you're seeing what the men did at Big Tens. They were the heptathlete, right? Heptathlete?
Yes.
Yeah. He didn't compete at Big Tens, and he ends up 4th and was one of the top best finishes of all times. He's in the record books, and he finished 4th, and had he competed in Big Tens, they might have won the Big Ten title.
Right.
And so you've got, moving forward into the outdoor season, but then also I know that the recruits they've got coming in, they're really excited about. I think the future is very, very bright for this Nebraska track and field team.
And I think they're going to be better outdoors because they get some more throwing events in the outdoor that you don't have indoors, and that's a strength of the Nebraska team. So congratulations to Coach Sinclair and the Husker track and field athletes. Great showing at the NCAA Indoor over the weekend. Now it's go outside. The Texas Relay is coming up in just a couple of weeks. All right, 402-413-2400. That's the number for you to dial us up with a comment or question, or if you want to shoot us a text, you can do that as well. That would be on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned that you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. It's spring break week on the campus. Students are gone. That means the Husker football team is gone. They start spring practice 1 week from today. When we come back, we're going to talk Husker defense. Defensive coordinator Tony White will join me next.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
It's time for some Nebraska farm facts. Want to know a fast way to rev up our Nebraska economy while helping the planet? It's right in your tank. When you fill up with clean soy-based biodiesel, you're increasing Nebraska biodiesel production while reducing greenhouse gases by up to 74%. So look for biodiesel where you fill up. It benefits our air, our economy, and our farmers. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
You ain't seen nothing.
This is Ford Truck Month, America. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. Like the Ford F-150 or the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger pickups. So get into Ford Truck Month and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. Based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdowns-for-teachers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts. When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out,
Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Baseball season has arrived, and your local Cenex has all your favorite snacks and beverages for the game. So whether you're hitting the road for an away game, headed to Haymarket Park, or going to cheer on your favorite local team, make Cenex your destination for top quality fuel, your favorite snacks, and service from a local smile. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally at Cenex.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now kids can eat free.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
The Lead Center for Performing Arts is celebrating 33 years of bringing the world's top artists to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln campus. Upcoming shows include Hamilton, Yo-Yo Ma, American Ballet Theater, and Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill. Get tickets at leadcenter.org.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. We're just about a week away from Husker spring football practice getting going, and delighted to be joined tonight by the Huskers defensive coordinator, Tony White. I bet you're anxious to get on the practice field and get away from all the conditioning workouts. Not that that's bad, but it's football. Time to do that, right?
Time to go to football. You know, we see a lot of them run around in what we call pajamas, you know, and they've done a great job. I mean, Corey, seeing him live, seeing what his strength staff is doing to those young men, it's awesome to see. And watching them on tape last year and then seeing them run around, the initial thoughts were, you know, there's some guys that have some movement skills, there's some size, some length. So now you turn to the next phase of it all and get them in pads and see if that translates over, you know. How much have you been able to get to know the guys over the last 40 days or so, once recruiting kind of ended? Yeah, I think that's a really neat deal. That's a huge emphasis in the process, you know, of it all. And anytime there's meals, that's why, you know, everything is deliberate. You know, coach has meals catered up here, so that way all the coaches go down and sit with the guys and get to know them, talking to parents, just being around them as much as we can to get to know them, you know, and them know us. And so it's that's a huge step. I mean, that's probably the most important thing, is that they understand that we're all in this together, and together we can do anything. Are you noticing some guys that maybe stand out as possible leaders for that group? Yeah, I mean, there's some guys that are stepping up. I mean, Chief Borders, Nick, Luke. You know, again, everything by design. This the off-season program, he had a lot of guys who were team captains, and a lot of it was based off of performance. So you had some guys step up and assume some roles you didn't know if they can handle. And it's amazing when you give a guy a chance and you let them run the show and you see what they can do. They rise to the occasion, you know. And so it was good to see. It was good to see those guys. I think in the back end, Gifford was a good leader for us. John Bullock. I mean, there's tons of guys that stepped up and did big stuff for their teams.
Or John Bullock's got some hoops ability.
Yeah, you see that? You see he can
360 windmills.
He can sky, man. Let's put him on the grass. Let's see what's up.
It's pretty impressive. Do you watch much tape from last year? Because you're going to run a different style defense. How important is that to you to go back and watch what some of the guys that were here, what they can do?
100%. You kind of just get a feel for their movement skills, you know, and seeing how naturally aggressive they are. You know, in terms of where defensive schematics were, what they were doing last year, the skill sets that they were exercising. You try to see, and if your initial reactions, initial thoughts were correct, like, okay, I think he's this kind of end, and you see him play, and you're like, okay, that's a skill set. But again, it's a new slate. Everything is going to start from this offseason and what we've seen them do, and the changes we've made in terms of positions and schematics wise. And then come the 20th, we're going to turn them loose, and then that's where the evaluations start on the grass, you know, where we can see guys, okay, we thought this, now let's move them to here, all that kind of stuff. So
how much install do you imagine putting in during their 15 practices you get here in the spring?
As much as they can handle. Yeah, you want to get stuff on film. You know, you want to get stuff on film. You want to see them in those positions to make plays. You want to see how their natural instincts take over. You want to throw as much at them as you can now, and then taper back versus not having enough and trying to put it in the fall.
Another thing for you is you're trying to get to know the guys you're working with.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how beneficial, and take us through the last month. What's that been like? Have you been like Professor White the last month with your staff?
No, I mean, you got some great football minds in the building, period. I mean, you got some great men in there, and you got some great football minds. So the biggest deal is just all of us coming together and putting together a plan where this is how we see it, this is how we want it done, making sure vocab is correct, making sure our eyes are all the same, so that way when we get on the grass we can always correct them one word, everybody knows what's up, everybody's on the same page. And once that happens, if we can get everybody on the same page and get everybody moving the same way, then that's where technique, that's where the player comes out, you know, and that's our job, is to get them in that spot where they can just go out there and play ball instead of thinking and miscommunication, guys not knowing what to do or how to do it.
Coach Rural said he's been sitting first row. He says he's been really educational for him to hear your philosophies on that type of thing. What's that rapport been like?
That's funny, because I say the same thing with him. You know, he's the program builder, man. He's a guru at what he does, and you know, it's such a blessing to be here, and such a blessing to be around guys like Coach Rural, because you see what makes guys successful, you know, and both on and off the grass as a man and as a professional. And you know, the word that comes to mind is process. You know, you always take for granted, hey, you just think that that's the way it's done, no big deal, but it truly is, and a process. And when the process is right, you don't need to talk about winning. You know, that comes with the process. You know, and he's building a football program here. I mean, that's what we're here to do, and seeing how he goes about it day by day, it's truly amazing. So, you know, philosophy wise, I'm soaking up as much as I can, and I'm just again grateful to be here, grateful to be with the guys on offense and defense, and ready to roll.
Again, visiting with Associate Head Coach, Defensive Coordinator Tony White here on Sports Nightly. Kent, you talked about trying to feed the players as much as they can ingest during spring ball.
Mm-hmm.
Can you get a sense, are they already anxious to start doing that? And have you already started kind of planting some seeds with them on some of that stuff?
Yeah, they've been running installs. You know, we've installed and got a chance to go through it on the grass a little bit. Whether it's on cans or whether walking through, all that stuff. So they've done a lot, and then you know, you always go back to your experiences. So when we installed it, when we first went to San Diego State, then Arizona State, then Syracuse, you always go back and look and say, okay, how much did we have in? What do we do there? What were our mistakes there? How do I correct that here? Stuff like that. And these guys are running with it. It's fun to watch them. They're absorbing a lot. There's a lot of guys playing a lot of different positions and stuff like that to start off with, so they've done a really nice job. You know, the really cool, neat thing is when they care enough to come over here in the evening time or to come over here in their extra time and hey, coach, can you explain this to me? Hey, coach, can I watch more film? Hey, coach, can I see this? Hey, coach, and all positions going to all coaches. It is truly amazing. Again, going back to the process where, you know, if you want to be good, you're going to do those things to make you good. And so you see a lot of guys in the building. You see a lot of guys in the building when they're not required to be in the building because they want to be here. They want to be good. They want to learn. So that's a really neat deal.
That's encouraging. Great to hear that. Again, Tony White with us here on Sports Night. Can you get a sense yet of the passion this fan base has for this football program? 45,000 seats already sold for the spring game. I think it'll be close to a sellout once we hit April 22nd. Can you sense that being around Lincoln?
You said 45 already for the spring game?
45,000.
That's more than a lot of Pac-12 football games in the fall. You know,
that's exactly right.
That's I tell you what, man. Again, anytime, any place I've been, anywhere, it's Nebraska. It's Nebraska football. You know, and not only Nebraska football, but just they don't talk about wins and losses. They're happy you're here. They want to embrace us. They want this place to do well. You know, and it's truly amazing when you're at the grocery store, you're at the movie theater, you're at the restaurant. No matter where you are, walking your dog down the street, no matter where you are, it's Nebraska football. You know, Nebraska football. So it's again truly humbling experience.
Personal side of things, are you getting settled?
Oh, we're settled, man. We're Nebraska.
Because some of the coaches aren't yet, but you are.
Oh, listen, I don't know what's taking them so long. Well, look, we blitzed from play one, so we're gonna do this thing right now, right? So now watch this. So I went to school and everything in LA, in California.
Right.
So I've always had a California driver's license. Okay, so go to Arizona, California driver's license. Go to Syracuse, keep my Cali. This is the first place immediately. Nebraska driver's license. I'm here. I'm done. Let's go.
That's fantastic. Coach, great to see you. Enjoy spring break, and then let's get going. I can't wait to see you out on the practice field here in a week or so.
Can't wait for it either. Appreciate you.
Husker defensive coordinator with us here on Sports Night. Folks, buckle up. Another message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office, and put that phone down. More of the show coming up next.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Students in Nebraska's Rake School of Computer Science and Management created software that is saving a Nebraska e-commerce company 34,000 hours of work per year. Created by a group of 5 Rake School students for their Design Studio Capstone project, this software is one of 300 real-world software solutions created by Rake School students.
The 0-2 pitch. Drilled to left field. Going back is Calvin Hewitt. Looking up, and it is gone.
Tune in tomorrow with Greg Sharpe and Mim McLaughlin as Nebraska baseball takes on Omaha in a midweek matchup. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 p.m. On Wednesday, women's basketball is set to take on Missouri State in round 1 of the WNIT tournament, with pre-game coverage beginning at 5:45 p.m. on the HRN. Tune in to your local affiliates or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red.
SOS to the rescue. SOS to the rescue.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Welcome back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you Monday night. We'll bolt our first baseball show coming up at the top of the hour. Huskers will be in action tomorrow night at home against the Mavericks of Omaha, 6:05 first pitch. Man, I like talking to Tony White. Really
awesome.
enjoy those conversations.
He's great. I really enjoyed getting to chat with him when I talked about signing day, all those coaches. You can tell why he's really well liked in the building, and he's so respected, and all the players and coaches have talked about how much they enjoy talking to him, but he's not one of those guys that's like, above anybody. And you heard him talk about how much he's learning from everybody in the building, and I think that was a great hire, great fit. And you would talk about a guy that, now I don't know what his plans are, but I think he will absolutely be a great head coach one day when he gets the opportunity, if he wants that opportunity.
No, you're right. He's very polished.
Yes.
In that way. He's a little bit the outlier. I mean, he knows Matt Rural. They go back but some of the other guys he's not been around. And so he's, like he said in our little chat, he's like, I'm learning from them, they're learning from me. It's been great so far.
I think and again, because he has his defense, and you've got guys that haven't played in his defense, but one thing that this coaching staff preaches about their players, they preach about themselves, and it starts from the head coach, is being versatile. I mean, Matt Rule has coached almost every position. You look at all the players that are on his staff, and all of them have played different positions. You got defensive line, quarterback. He's coached all over the field, and so I think that's where these different coaches, position coaches, will also be able to be versatile and be able to fit with Coach White's defense as well. And so I think that's where, when Coach Rule assembled this staff is, and it would be fascinating sometime to hear his thought process of getting Tony White and why he thought that would be the guy and going and getting him. But because he already had position coaches in place. And so kind of how that all worked out for him, I'd be fascinated to hear how that process went in his head. But I think that was a phenomenal hire. I can't wait because the players just all rave about him. I mean, they absolutely adore Tony White.
Week from today, spring practice begins for the Cornhuskers. Let's pick off some texts here. Dennis said, Nebraska men's basketball team, when do you think they might get some big men, like over 7 foot? Blaze is big. Blaze is 6'11".
Oleg is a 7-footer.
Oleg is 7 foot. Wilhelm is 6'9", 6'10". Derek was a 6'8" guy, but I think Derek played bigger than he really was.
Yeah. And, I think, who was it? I think it was the last time that Nate Linzer was on. Was it Nate Linzer? I can't remember. But, you look at a lot of how their, college basketball is going, and a lot of it's kind of like what the NBA. A lot of times you see 4 guys that can play on the outside and just one big man. There's not so much, you have a center and a forward and both of them are over. A lot of it is kind of driven towards having some guys that can stretch the floor on the outside, and you might have 4 out, 1 in. And I don't know. I don't know if you're seeing just as many teams with a massive big man, and that's from the NBA on down. You just are not seeing those kinds of players and teams all over the place anymore.
I do think they'll look for a big in the portal.
Yes.
It's one on their list of guys that they need to go find somebody to take Derek's spot in a lot of ways.
Yes, I do think you need an experienced big man, and Derek did so much. And even despite having Blaze coming back, and I know they're excited about his future, and Oleg, but you need a guy with replacing experience with experience. You got to get a guy that's played basketball at a really high level that can also score. That's still an area of Blaze's game that's growing. He's great on the defensive end, is a huge asset on the defensive end, but the offensive part of it is still a work in progress. And so I think you got to go get a guy in the inside that can score.
Mark on our text line, why didn't they just move the games down to Nickel State? That's in Louisiana, right? Ought to be plenty warm down there. They've already bought commercial plane tickets to come up here. Nebraska wouldn't have budgeted for commercial flights, and to try to get that many tickets on a commercial airline while spring break is going on, darn near impossible. So they're limited with their options. So they're trying to go a couple of hours south, maybe just warm enough to get those games in. Also, K-State's field is field turf, so if they get some precipitation, they probably can play through that. So I think that was what factored into all of that decision. So easier said than done when you're playing somebody that far away. It's a long ways to South Louisiana from Lincoln, Nebraska, so it's not real easy just to say, well, let's get in a bus and go somewhere.
Yeah, so, and when you got a lot of gear to travel too.
A lot of plane tickets to try to buy. John and Omaha, Greg and Jessica, if each one of you could be a superstar in a certain sport, pro or college, what sport would that be and at what level?
I think I'd want to be a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback.
Oh.
Like that.
Yeah.
In college.
That'd be pretty cool.
I would rather be an elite quarterback in college than NFL. Maybe an NBA superstar, but there's a lot that goes. They play a lot of games.
I'll be a golfer. Let me go play TPC again. I played that course. I love watching that tournament this weekend. I watched a lot of golf. The 17th hole, I put 2 in the drink.
Oh.
That's all they give you. They give you 2 shots, and if you don't get on, they're like, we got to keep moving. So.
Oh.
I didn't hit it on. Hit the front part of it.
You didn't
once.
learn from your first mistake?
It's hard. Did you see how many guys hit it in the water yesterday? They were all over the place. That's hard to do. Also, Tex, you guys need to talk about Sarah Weber, Husker soccer player, who's been invited to play for the U23 national team, and that is true. Sarah is out I think they're out in Portland, a preseason tournament out there. They played a match yesterday. She got to play quite a bit, 50-some minutes out there. They're going to play again later this week. Great honor for her. She's one of 3 Big Ten players to be playing on this U23 women's national team. That's awesome. Great job for Sarah.
And she had a heck of a year last year. We actually had her on the show last year going into the Big Ten tournament. Loved talking to her. She's awesome. She's great. She loves being a Husker, hometown kid. And I think the future's bright for that soccer team, too. They got a lot of young talent, a lot of players coming back, too. They got good experience last year. They got better as they went along.
They did, and they played a couple matches last weekend, and then they're all off for spring break. They've got a couple more spring matches here. It's kind of their spring football, their spring matches. They get to actually play some of the teams from around the Midwest.
And they were coaching up the football team during their Olympics.
They were, yeah.
Yep. Nuri would have been, if we're talking soccer, Nuri would have been one of my first-round picks.
I know.
Because he played soccer. That's how he got into football.
He's a little bigger now than he probably was when he
that's
played.
why he didn't move as well in goal, but you could tell kicking it, he's got a good leg. He told me last year when I talked to him that during a couple of the times when we were struggling kicking and punting, that he begged to be able to have an opportunity to kick and punt because he apparently can kick it a really long ways.
Bet he could. I bet he can.
Can you imagine seeing him line up back there?
Big fellow back there punting the ball away. That would draw some oohs and ahs. Oh, that's great. Fantastic. Keep them coming, folks. 402-413-2400. Also time to tell you to buckle up. Put that phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Back to wrap up Hour 1 next.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Bring even more action to your drive when you purchase your next vehicle at Woodhouse Buick GMC. From dependable SUVs to durable trucks, we have something for everyone. Drive with purpose in the 2023 GMC Terrain or discover just how tough the GMC Sierra 1500 can be. Plus, receive no monthly payments for 90 days on your next GMC vehicle. Explore our current inventory in-store or online at WoodhouseBuickGMC.com. We are professional grade. WC, see dealer. Details expires 4/3/23.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
That's my neighbor Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey, John.
Joe's about to make a big mistake. Hey, Joe, think it might be a good idea to call 811 to have the utilities marked before you start digging?
I'm not digging very deep. It's no big deal.
No big deal.
TV's out. Internet too.
Remember, safe digging always starts with a free call to 811. Oh, what a knucklehead.
Brought to you by Nebraska 811.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card. Free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Time to see what's on tap, presented by Bud Light. Husker baseball tomorrow night against Omaha, 6:05. First pitch at Haymarket Park. We're on the air at 5:30 with pregame coverage. Amy Williams Huskers will take part in the WNIT Wednesday night. They will be battling the Bears of Missouri State, 6 o'clock for pregame coverage, or for the tip. Pregame coverage will begin at 5:45 for the Huskers on Wednesday night. Also Wednesday, Husker softball will be in action. They're up at Omaha to take on the Mavericks. Just a single game. That'll be at 4 o'clock up in Omaha. Our coverage here on the Huskers Radio Network at 3:45. That is what is on tap, presented by Bud Light. Folks, I have created, if anybody wants to just kind of have fun and play it, put together a bracket, the ESPN Bracket Challenge. I've created a group called Sports Nightly. If you want to go in there, you got to sign up. It's free. You can sign up for free and go fill your bracket out. Get your buddies and just compete against each other. So go to the search bar. Once you get in there, the bracket's created. Just type in Sports Nightly search. It'll pop up. Fill your bracket out. We'll have some fun.
So it's open to anybody.
It's open.
Well, you know, the guys in the chat are big. We're big on the college football picks, and they asked us a while back if we were going to do college basketball picks, March Madness pick 'em, and this is our only show this week, really, until maybe later on in the week. So if you want to join it, this is your chance.
It's free.
Yes,
and we're not giving away a big prize. So just go have some fun.
Just see if you can actually beat me, because they can't beat me in college football picks. So maybe they can beat me in hoops picks. So, actually, Andrew Dowdy's the reigning champion on that.
Yeah,
so
he is.
We'll see if he can.
I'll text him and tell him he can get in that too. We'll put his name in there. Have some fun. So go in there. When you create your team, search in the men's tournament challenge. Search for the group Sports Nightly, 2 words, and it'll pop up. You can just create your bracket and jump in there. We'll have some fun. I'll get mine put in there later tonight so everybody can make fun of my picks in there as well. Should be fun. Iowa women did not get a 1 seed. Were you surprised by that? Indiana did. I think a lot of people thought Iowa might get a 1 since they were so dominant at the tournament in Minneapolis 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe they were not wanting to give 2 Big Ten teams that nod.
Probably.
And does that keep them on separate sides now? They wouldn't meet up, so maybe that was part of it too. They wouldn't have to meet up in the Elite Eight.
Big Ten women got 7 bids. The men got 8. I just don't know on the men's side. I think there's just a lot of solid teams on the men's side from the Big Ten. Purdue obviously is a lot of people's pick to make a deep run in this thing. They're a 1 seed. I just don't know. I think in the Sweet 16 it might be pretty skinny for the Big Ten. Hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. Maybe 2 make the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. They just beat up on each other so much. It's hard to tell how good they are.
It's true, and as you mentioned, there's so much parity.
It's
not that big of a deal for a Big East team to beat a Big 12 team, or somebody from the Mountain West, or from the American Athletic Conference to beat someone. Memphis is a really good team. I mean, there's a lot of good teams that can make a run in this thing.
And the thing, again, with COVID and getting the extra year is that teams are older now. And there's a lot of even just the Cinderella-type teams that we've seen the last 2 years now that have made those deep runs have been old teams that have played a lot of basketball together. Not just played a lot of basketball, they played a lot of basketball and together, which also helps, building that chemistry and just being an experienced team. A lot of times the teams that make the best runs, the biggest runs, the magical runs are teams with older experienced guards. And so if you got that, it doesn't matter what size school you come from or what conference. If you have some experienced guards that aren't afraid to go match up against some of these big time teams, and then that bodes well for a lot of teams.
On the women's side, you got a clear favorite in South Carolina. On the men's side, I think there are 7, 8 teams that could win it.
It's going to be, I think this will be one of the more intriguing, fun tournaments to watch. And, I think there are a lot of teams that on any given night, if they're on, they could go really far. And if they're off, they could get beat in the first round. I mean, we've seen some teams play really good basketball and really bad basketball that if you catch them on a good night, they could make a deep run. If you catch them on a bad night, they could be bounced early.
All right, you're right. We don't have another show. Our next show will be Thursday night. We'll have a show that night. Husker baseball will play earlier that day at 11 o'clock. So we'll have a show on Thursday night. You're going to be out at the women's game on Wednesday night. Hopefully they get a win and move on in the WNIT.
Yeah, I'll be calling it on Big Ten Plus, so we will be streaming that. So I'll get a chance to call that, and then I'll head down to wrestling and get some coverage down there. So that'll be fun.
Very good. Tickets on sale now. Huskers.com. You can go get your tickets for that WNIT. Very reasonably priced tickets to go watch the Huskers play the Bears of Missouri State Wednesday night, 6 o'clock tip, 5:45 pregame coverage here on the Huskers Radio Network. Our baseball show, our first one of the spring, coming up next hour. Get your comments, questions ready for the head coach. Our Sports Nightly hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com. Anytime. They've got 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned that you can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. Great to hear from Tony White this hour. Looking forward to watching him coach some football starting next week when the Huskers take the field for their first spring practice next Monday. Our baseball show on the other side. It's on the side. Come on back.
hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At CHI Health Clinic, we believe healthcare should be personal because knowing your provider personally makes appointments more comfortable, more productive, and more meaningful to your overall health. Get matched with a primary care provider based on your personality and lifestyle using CHI Health Clinic's My Provider Match. Take the survey at myprovidermatch.com to find the right provider for you. Getting healthier starts by getting personal at CHI Health Clinic.
I think farming picked me. I didn't pick farming. I'm not afraid to try something new. It's my farm, my family, and our future. My Channel Seedsman gets that. I get access to innovative products with personalized advice backed by data to maximize my yield potential. With Channel, I know I'll prosper for years to come.
Define your future at channel.com/future. Read and follow pesticide label directions, IRM, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices. Copyright 2022 Bayer Group. All rights reserved.
Woodhouse Mazda is redefining car buying, so you can shop whenever you want, wherever you want. Shop our inventory, apply for financing, and start your deal online at woodhouseplacemazda.com or woodhousemazda.com. With our lineup of new Mazda CUVs like the Mazda CX-5 or a Mazda certified pre-owned vehicle, we have a vehicle to fit the needs of your lifestyle. Our 2 convenient locations and our commitment to excellence make Woodhouse Mazda the easy choice.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC. This is the Husker Baseball Show on the Huskers Radio Network with head coach Will Bolt. Presented by your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit buyfordnow.com.
First pitch to Josh. Breaking ball hammered to left. That is absolutely crushed. Way out of here over the hitting facility in left field. There goes the runner. The pitch hammered into right center field. That's a gapper. That's going to roll all the way to the wall. Carey being waved home. He's going to score. Anderson pumping for 2, not stopping there. Digging for 3. The relay throw is not in time. An RBI triple for Anderson, and the Huskers lead it 3-0. The 0-2 pitch from Garza. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 4 scoreless for Slim here in Mobile, and it's another 1-2-3 inning. The 0-2 pitch. Drilled to left field. Going back is Calvin Hewitt looking up, and it is gone. Home run. Garrett England, and the Huskers have the lead 4-3. This pitch, Walsh cranks one to deep left center field. Hines back to the track, to the wall. It is gone. Will Walsh gets one out of here to the deepest part of the park. Shea comes set. The 1-1 pitch. Little bouncer to third. Carey up with it. Fires to first. In time. And the Huskers have beaten number 7 Vanderbilt.
Here is your host, Greg Sharpe, on the Huskers Radio Network.
And it's our first baseball show for the spring. It doesn't really feel like baseball weather out there today, but hey, Huskers have already played 14 games. They're 9-4-1 and have won 9 of the last 10 games. You want to be a part of the program with the coach? You can call or text 402-413-2400. Congratulations. What a last couple weekends it's been. Your team's really playing some good ball. Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun, and that's kind of the word I've used to describe this group even before the season started. Now, certainly the first weekend wasn't, a lot of fun in terms of the results, but I just was pretty adamant with our team, with our group, with our coaches, and just everybody I talked to that this group of guys, they're going to figure it out. Like, they need a little time maybe to gel and, get a feel for the identity that we're going to forge on the field. And, these guys, they're very resilient. They've already shown that in a short amount of time, and we're playing some good baseball right now. You've really lengthened that lineup, and I think you felt pretty good about it, and you've even been tested a little bit with some injuries to Garrett England, and yet you haven't missed a beat with putting some other guys in there. Yeah, and that was a big focal point for us in the offseason, was to kind of get that lineup length back to where we had it in 21, we felt like, and even in 2020 to a certain degree, where you've got some pretty formidable hitters at the bottom of the lineup, because you've got to have that. I mean, to be a good offense, you have to have 1 through 9, be competitive. It doesn't mean every guy's got to hit 300, but you've got to have guys that are able to work the count, and guys at the bottom of the order to get on base to set up for the top of the order. And as you saw with our last game on Saturday, top of the order, there wasn't much going in terms of hitting. Yeah. Now there was some production there with some runs scored and RBI, but it's hard to win a game when your top 5 go, over. And, it speaks to the depth, like you said, of the lineup, and just that ability to put pressure on the pitcher, for each pitch of each inning. Looking back, you referenced the San Diego weekend where you didn't get out of there with a win. How big was the Friday night game then in Mobile, where you finally broke through? And that one was not an easy one. That one you had to play right till the end. Yeah, and that was a big turning point for us, I would say. Just some of the things that had happened the first weekend were, when we made a mistake defensively, we compounded it on the mound, and when we, weren't throwing strikes on the mound, we, weren't focused defensively, and swung the bats well the last 2 games there, so that gave us some pretty good hope that the lineup was going to shake out to be the way that we thought it might. And we saw some of those same things kind of rear its head in that Friday game at South Alabama, where, we make an error and there's a couple runs that score because of it. And right after we had taken the lead, and then, again, showing some of that fight and resiliency, we answer right back on that Friday night, and it's tight. I mean, we'd leave some guys on base. We strand some runners that they had in scoring position, and we just needed to win a game like that, I think, to get ourselves kind of over that hump with this year's group. And it's been, you can kind of just see us get better and better, each game after that. This team seems to like each other. Have you noticed that being around them all fall and leading up to this season? Yeah, and that was really pretty evident from the get-go. I think just
the guys that we had back, the 11 guys that returned from the 21 team, were very, very motivated to make sure the clubhouse culture was exactly where it needed to be, that had been in the past. And maybe at times last year was lacking, and of course not winning games doesn't help. But I think there was definitely a conscious effort on their part to make sure that it was the way it needed to be. And they really gelled, and I think just the overall love of the game for just the guys on our roster. I mean, they love to play baseball. They like to be around. You can always tell teams that are tight-knit, when practice is over, there's still a bunch of things going on in the locker room long after practice is over. Guys hanging out, just spending time together, getting to know each other. Man, just really speaks to our veteran leadership that way and how they've gelled. And yeah, we saw that. I mean, I think going and having to play off campus probably helped some of that too, where, in the fall we didn't have a home field, and they rode together to practice in their cars to and from, and just kind of bonded over some of that shared adversity, maybe, if you want to call it that way, in the fall. So we've seen that with this group. They mesh with the way our coaching style, the things that we're asking. They've just been a joy. They've been a joy to be around, and fun group of guys to coach.
Everybody at the college level now is dealing with the portal, and baseball's always been kind of maybe more of a fluid roster than some of the other sports. But you've taken guys like Garza and Fisher. How big, when you're going through the process of thinking about adding people like that, do you balance their personality and how they're going to fit into what they can actually do with a bat or ball?
It is as important as their physical talent, because there's 3,000 plus names in that portal. Yeah. So, there's plenty of talent in there that you feel like you could upgrade your roster, but what are you getting with that package? Are you getting, somebody that's running from a situation? Are they running to a situation? That's typically what you get with transfers, is you want to find guys that are kind of coming to a situation that they feel like they fit in well with. And we were able to check those boxes for all these transfers that we brought in. We felt like, from a talent standpoint, man, we really were able to upgrade. Got some good left-handed hitters in there with Burnham and Fisher, and also Garza, from the right-handed pitching side of it. But talking to all their coaches and just doing some digging on all those guys, like, utmost respect for how they went about their business, and felt like they would be a great fit for us. So yeah, it's extremely important for us to do our due diligence with all the recruits that we bring here, so we make sure that we get the right guys.
And you've hit on, your hit rate's unbelievable. Burnham has done a great job. Got his average over 300. Jace has been dominant on the mound for you in the Saturday starts.
Absolutely.
Your hit rate's pretty darn good.
Yeah, and Kaminska was a no-brainer. A Friday night guy at a really good program, and he's got some of the best stuff in the country, and he was looking for a change of scenery as well, and felt like Nebraska was going to be a great fit for him, and we felt like he was going to be a great fit for us. So just feel very fortunate, and a lot of hard work put in by my staff to make sure that we did get the right guys.
It's a bigger batch of guys now than it was 10 years ago that are doing this.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of changed the recruiting mindset, I would think.
Yeah, and it's this summer was unique in that you had Coach Christie and Coach Harvell kind of off doing a lot of evaluating on future players, but also some. I remember Jeff went and watched Will Rizzo pitch this summer, and Will's another one that just really fits us to a T and how he does things. And then we had, back here at home, Coach Childress we're all looking at the portal, we're looking at video, we're looking at synergy. Led's helping out, Curtis Ledbetter, our director of ops, myself. We're all just, Coach Marcuzzo's running camps, but he's also helping with some of that stuff. So there's a team effort for sure. And there wasn't the name that went into the portal that we missed. All 3,000 plus of them. And like you said, I feel great about what we were able to do.
Folks, do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. How much do you think, as time goes on, would you maybe miss out on a kid when he comes out of high school, but he comes back to you, kind of comes back around and goes, I want to go back home and play back there? Do you think that'll happen some?
I think so. I think you'll see that in the recruiting process. Brumball was one that
Yeah.
He's hurt, so we're not getting to see him this year, but he would have been a big part of our team. He was one that we just missed out on out of high school. Not a local kid, but, we thought we had a great chance to get him out of high school. Ended up choosing to go to Oklahoma State, which was closer to home for him. So he kind of came back around. As soon as he went in the portal, it was like, hey, do you guys still have interest in me? And we said, for sure, So, yeah, I think those situations, that dynamic is totally different than it ever has been. And, you just got to always just keep an open mind when it comes to those things.
Yeah, because sometimes kids are kind of ready to get away from home, and then they go, I kind of miss being back and have my family be able to drive across town for an hour from Omaha to come watch you play. So, but again, I know that your locker room is the important part of it because they spend so much time together. It's a sport where they're around each other all the time.
Yeah, and I mean the things we talk about as much as anything is team play and being a great teammate, and that you have to have good personalities and guys that are willing to put themselves out there that way for it to work.
All right, got a text question. Brandon from Omaha. Coach, good start to the season. It's obvious we have seen a different team since week one. How much of the change is the players keeping each other accountable compared to you coaches lighting the fire? And how far are we from hitting our true potential?
That's a great question, Brandon. I think there is a high level of accountability with this group. I think that the team, I think we realized that we had a good team. And I think it just, when the results aren't there, it's easy to kind of get emotional about it. But I think the thing about having an older group of guys and more experienced group of guys is they're not going to panic. And we've really just stayed the course. So from them holding each other accountable, I think it really just came down to, look, we're going to be process driven. We've talked about that. I don't know if you've heard me say it once, I've said it a million times, like our process is we want to practice with joy and intent every day. And that it's easier said than done. I mean, it's not easy every single day when you're a student athlete to show up, have a great attitude at practice and be intentful with how you go about your business. But we feel like if you can do that and you can do it and get incrementally better each and every day, when the games roll around, you don't get driven by your emotions. You just stay process driven. So all I ask the guys after that first weekend is like, let's not abandon the process now because we didn't get the results that we wanted. And again, you have to have that accountability amongst the team to say, yeah, guys, like, hey, we're all in this together. Like we're going to stay to the course and stay true to the process. And captains have done a great job of just kind of preaching that message and reinforcing that message, I think, with the group. So we're blessed to have the team that we have in terms of the personality, the makeup, and the leadership.
I think offensively in San Diego, you were really close. Even game one, you had runners all over the place. You just couldn't get a big hit. That happens in baseball. To me, you turned a big corner with the arms after that first weekend. You weren't walking as many guys, and it seems like you kind of maybe locked in on your 6 or 8 top guys.
Yeah, and I don't. There was some probably rustiness there that first weekend on the mound that we didn't necessarily expect, that we really didn't see in the preseason. But could it potentially be a getting used to the pitch clock scenario? Maybe, but we did practice that, and I guess, I just hard to really put your finger on, some of the struggles to throw strikes early. But yeah, you get an idea kind of as the season goes along, the guys that are going to be dependable, and we've kind of, and I think there's still some guys that haven't thrown a lot yet that are going to be dependable when it's all said and done. So, we've got a talented pitching staff, and they're really improving each and every day.
Art in Los Angeles on our text line. Coach, I was there for the first weekend. In my opinion, something was off, and it had nothing to do with the Huskers or the coaching staff. Can you explain to me the rules? We had a batter get hit in a game. They called it a strike instead of going to first base. It confused the heck out of me. It did a lot of us.
So the rule is you have, unless the ball is in the batter's box, you have to make an attempt to get out of the way of the ball, and you can't make a move to get hit by the ball. So
this was Garrett, wasn't it?
This was with Anglem.
Yeah.
I think the call was that he made a move to get hit by the pitch, which I think the way we're going to teach, getting you want to roll with the pitch, right? Like you don't want to stick your leg out there, you don't want to stick your elbow out there, but you do want to. You kind of want to turn with the pitch, so it kind of makes a glancing blow instead of kind of a direct shot. And I think that's what happened with Garrett. He was just kind of rolling, so he wouldn't get directly hit, and had the appearance, I guess, of trying to get hit by the ball, which pretty debatable in my mind. But the hit by pitch one's tough, especially when you don't have replay. That's where it becomes really difficult, because if you don't have replay, you can't go back and watch, and that is a reviewable play to go back and see exactly where the pitch was located. Did the hitter try to get out of the way, and if he didn't, did he try to get hit by the pitch? So didn't have replay in San Diego. Actually haven't had replay except for here at home, to try to rectify that.
So you do have to make an attempt to get out of the way.
Unless the ball is in your batter's box.
And you can just stand there and take it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Art, appreciate the call. Art, it was great seeing you out there in San Diego. Thanks for coming out and supporting the Huskers while we were out there. Folks, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Keep those texts coming, 402-413-2400. We're back with more with the coach next.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
You ain't seen nothing. This is Ford Truck Month, America. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. Like the Ford F-150 or the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger pickups. So get into Ford Truck Month and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. Based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
The 0-2 pitch. Drilled to left field. Going back is Calvin Hewitt. Looking up, and it is gone.
Tune in tomorrow with Greg Sharpe and Min McLaughlin as Nebraska baseball takes on Omaha in a midweek matchup. Pre-game coverage begins at 5:30 p.m. On Wednesday, women's basketball is set to take on Missouri State in round 1 of the WNIT tournament, with pre-game coverage beginning at 5:45 p.m. on the HRN. Tune in to your local affiliates or at Huskers.com or by using the Huskers mobile app. Go Big Red.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Cornerstone Bank proudly serves Nebraska with a full line of loan and deposit products. Cornerstone is large enough to handle all of your financial needs. while offering the personal service you deserve and the local decision-making you expect from a family-owned community bank. Stop in or call one of the Cornerstone Bank locations near you to discover the Cornerstone difference. Bank on a solid foundation. Cornerstone Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Loan subject to approval.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank of Husker Nation. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
Husker fans, don't miss your chance to get a first look at new head coach Matt Rule and the 2023 Husker football team. Be in Memorial Stadium on Saturday, April 22nd for the annual Nebraska football red and white spring game presented by FNBO. Tickets are on sale now and are only $10 when purchased in advance and $20 on the day of the game. To secure your tickets today or for more information, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Nebraska has taken over leadership from Princeton University in coordinating the U.S. physics community at the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. For its role, Nebraska has been awarded over $50 million in National Science Foundation grants. This cutting-edge work at the world's largest particle accelerator helps physicists uncover the origins and makeup of the universe.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. It's our first baseball show of the spring. Head coach Will Bolt with us till the top of the hour. If you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. Carla on our text line for you, Coach. If the portal had been around when you played, if and how would it have affected you in your college playing days?
Me personally, I don't know that it really would have affected. I mean, it's easy to say that right now, kind of where we sit. I mean, I had an amazing experience here. I was a starter as a freshman, was able to play a lot right away and played on good teams and felt like I had great coaches and great teammates. So would it affected, our teams at some point in terms of our roster makeup? Maybe some guys that, hadn't played a lot. Because we did have a lot of guys from a lot of different places, all across the country. So
Canada even.
Yeah, Canadians, Hawaiians and Canadians. And, so it was, for me personally, I mean, it wouldn't have changed my experience here at all because I was at a place where I felt like I was valued as a player. I loved my coaches and my teammates and loved the school, so it was a perfect fit for me personally. But yeah, it's hard to say really how it would have affected college baseball 20 years ago as far as, the portal. I mean, really back then though, there was no penalty for sitting out if you transferred. So there wasn't a portal, but you'd pretty easily could transfer and not sit if you wanted to. So, it's just kind of interesting to see how some of this stuff has evolved over the years.
Crypto King in our chat room wants to know, Coach, why is replay not every game? Well, what is it? Just who has it set up? Yeah, that's kind of been at South Al when we played there in Mobile. They were in the process of implementing it. So they're a little bit like the Big Ten in their league where it's not mandated across the board, but it's able to be used if you have it. And I think they were in the process of getting that done, so it wasn't ready for us that weekend.
Kind of just depends on where you go. I think many more places have it than don't have it. Obviously, we didn't have it in the Dome up in Minneapolis because it's not set up for baseball typically.
Right.
So that's why that was that way there. We do have the capabilities, even though somewhat limited here at Nebraska, to have it, and we have it for non-conference games. And so, yeah, it's just kind of up to the venue and who they have available, what kind of camera angles they have available. Because we're fortunate here where we do have Husker Vision, and we do have the folks that are doing the broadcast, the students, and that kind of thing. And so we have more camera angles that we can use. Some places just don't have that, and they don't have it wired for replay.
Crypto also wants to know if you've got a player or two in mind that's maybe made the most improvement from last year.
Man, yeah, it's kind of
your catcher has.
Yeah, Josh Caron is the first one that comes to mind as far as a guy that we've always seen the talent and ability in, and really just kind of coming into his own as a catcher, as a leader, and as a hitter. Fantastic player. Drew Christo, I think, continues to improve and really make some strides. There's some other guys in there too that have improved, and not just guys that were young freshmen last year, but guys that Bryce Matthews, I feel like has come a long way in his game. And there's others too. I know I'll be leaving some guys out. Emmett Olson came in as a bullpen guy, and now he's as a Friday night starter. So there's been quite a few guys that have improved, and that's what we've got to do here at Nebraska. We feel like as good as anybody is develop players and have guys continue to improve in your program.
Adam from Lions, Coach, thoughts on the pitch clock? I feel like it's making some of them rush. He's not a fan. He thinks it's too short. It's not really for me to say whether I think the rule is great or not. I mean, I do. I will say some of these cold games, it has kept the game moving a little bit. So you're playing in 2.5 hours instead of a 4-hour game when it's cold. But yeah, I think there could probably be a happy medium in there where you keep the game moving. Maybe it's a little different with runners on base. There's some ambiguity there with when the clock actually starts. Because I will say in San Diego, it was, as soon as the pitcher had the ball, the clock was starting. It was going.
Hasn't really been that way at the other places that we've played, including at home. So I think it's kind of up to the umpire who's operating the clock on the field at times where, and in South Alabama, they didn't have a visible clock. So I felt like it was almost non-existent that weekend. So I think there needs to be some uniformity to it. I think there will be. I think it's going to be required to have a visible clock everywhere by next season. I'm a fan of keeping the game moving. I do think that there are some situations where hitters get put in a tough situation where they've got to have their eyes alert at 10 seconds, and it makes it difficult, especially with runners on base. I mean, there's not a lot of shaking off of pitches if you don't really want that pitch. Like controlling the running game is a little bit different. You only get the one step off now, and you get penalized. And we had Matthews got punched out on a.
You lost a home run.
Yeah, we lost a home run on it. Yeah, so there's some things that we have to work through when it comes to it, and I think it's part of the game. It's obviously part of the game in the big leagues. It's going to be part of college baseball, so we're going to just have to continue to adjust and adapt.
To me, the only thing, and I think they've adjusted this, is the time between half innings. They've extended from 90 seconds to 2 minutes. A lot of times, if your catcher's not on base or in the on-deck circle, I think you could trim some 30 seconds off there.
Yeah, but I think you could. I think a lot of that comes down to commercials and some of that as well.
And the TV games are longer than when you're not on television. So maybe it makes it more uniform if you do it for all of them. Ben in Crofton. Coach, I know that Perry and Buns have played big roles as talented left-handers in the past. How are they with their arm health, and how do you manage them early in the season?
As far as their arm health, they're both in great shape that way. Feeling good, feeling healthy, feeling strong. Usually kind of the last thing to come back is the ability to command the pitches exactly the way you want to command it, especially after having a couple of arm injuries. Because I think their stuff is pretty similar right now. I mean, you're seeing Buns is touching 90. from the left side. Perry's touching 90 from the left side. It's just sometimes the command is the last thing to come back where you can really put it where you want it. So Perry's had, he's got a save in there for us. He had a 2-inning outing last time out. He's we're not going to hesitate to send him out there in a tight game. And Buns is still working back. He's a little further behind than where KP is, but he's still working back as well. And we're going to pick our spots to get him because he was as important a piece of our puzzle in 21 as any. And we missed him last year. And we're working to get him back. And he feels good. He feels strong. And he's had a couple of bright spots already, and he's going to be a big part of it.
I asked you earlier about busting that door down and getting that win that Friday in Mobile. Kyle got the last 3 outs, and that had to make you kind of smile.
Yeah.
Battled his way back and got those outs.
Absolutely, and I think his reaction down to the bullpen, hearing it after the fact, was when we said, hey, Perry's going to go in the game here, he looked at the guys in the pen and said, good decision. So he wanted that role. He wanted to be in that spot. He wanted to be the guy with the ball in his hand to get the team kind of over that hump, and you can show that emotion. And so, yeah, KP and Buns, those guys love them to death. Great teammates, awesome. They love the Huskers, and we're gonna lean on those guys for sure.
Couple questions, both on text and in the chat room, about how do you determine whether to have a run rule in effect for a game?
Yeah, it's something that gets talked about prior to the game, and kind of what we've gravitated towards is the midweek games. Typically, we've always played run rule if both coaches agree. You want to have that agreement with the coaches. The other piece of it that hasn't come into play necessarily is that the extra inning rule. You could put a runner at second base to start the extra innings if you want. I think there was a game last year that we had agreed to do that had it come to extra innings. I think because it was maybe a Wednesday game after a Tuesday game, and both teams relied on pitching, so you just don't want to drag it out for the weekend. So those conversations are had prior to the game and then at home plate, with the umpires, and both coaches need to be in agreement with it. That's kind of been our rule of thumb is midweeks. If we get to that point, we'll just call it after 10 after 7. The weekends, there's usually more opportunities to get guys in the game that you kind of want to, and it was, that was the case on Saturday. If we hadn't played a run rule, then Goody wouldn't have been able to get in there and work through some things at the end of that game, and Jalen as well. Both those guys, they're going to need that experience, and so it's not necessarily a hard and fast rule, but that's kind of typically where we've erred on the side of 10-run midweek games and not on the weekends.
Very good. Good question. Hey, Nebraska 811 says, go dig red before you dig. Always call or click 811 to have your utility lines marked. It's free. It's easy. It's the law. Let's go to West Point. Husker Dan's up first tonight. Good evening, Dan.
Hey, good evening, guys. How's it going?
Great. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Well, Coach Volt, I'm sorry, but Mother Nature is not on our side, I guess.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, I know. We're just going to have to try to adapt, and I sure do hate, not getting to play games at home. But, man, these last couple of years have been kind of brutal for us in March, haven't they, as far as the weather goes?
Yeah, you're going to get the crowds. Don't hold off on us. We're going to be there. It's just, But anyway, hey, I want to ask you, I know you got a new infield in this ballpark, and how's it holding up? And my question is, a lot of times you see the dirt is red, and now I'm noticing it's brown. Is there any chemical or scientific deal going on there with that?
No, not that I'm aware of. I think that it's a similar. What you've got is you've got the dirt, and then you've got the top dressing that goes on top of the dirt. That maybe it is a little bit different shade of red or brown or whatever you want to call it. Maybe there's a little bit less water put on it prior to, because we've had some games where we've kind of had a little bit of mist going into it, so you don't want to water the dirt a whole lot because you're kind of worried about it being too wet when the game rolls around. But yeah, the infield dirt I thought played has played great since we've been back, and our grounds crew and Kyle and his crew have done a nice job. It's a brand new playing surface. The grass is probably not as fast as what it will be. It's with the cold temps, it just makes it tough to really get it down where it's probably going to be. But the dirt is great. I think it's played great. And you can really tell everything's really leveled out. They laser graded it again, and I think it's played well. And if it looks different, I don't think it's by design.
Dan, appreciate the call. Let's go down to Kansas. And Tom, good evening. Tom, you're up with the head coach.
Hey, Sharpie. Hey, Coach Bolt.
Hey, buddy. How are you
Tom.
doing? Long time.
Yeah, long time. I was actually the first caller to the new show, and I'm one of them guys that don't really want to call in unless I ain't got something good to say, so I just keep quiet.
Well, let's bring it on. Let's hear what you got.
All right. Well, one great start. Not a real great one at the very first weekend, but you really turned it around.
Thank you.
It might sound a little funny, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
Shoot.
Are you guys teaching your pitchers to hit batters?
That is kind of a funny question. No, we're not. We're not teaching our guys. Now we do. In all seriousness, we do like to pitch inside, and I think you have to be able to effectively pitch inside, to get good hitters out. And so, with that, you're going to have some hit batters. Now, some of the nature of the hit batters that we've had is not by design, of course, and of course we're never trying to hit guys, but you do want to establish the plate as a pitcher, and Emmett does a good job of that. His best games, he's pounding those right-handed hitters inside a little bit, and Jace doing kind of the similar thing from the right side. So we're pitching inside now. We're the guys that kind of lose the breaking ball and bounce a breaking ball in there and hit a guy. Or hit a guy in the back because the breaking ball doesn't make it to the plate. Those are big misses. Those are ones that we can't have. But we do pitch inside with purpose, and sometimes you hit guys with a fastball.
It seems like an inordinate amount of hit batters, and what really sucks is that several of them have been with 2 strikes. Like they got them down 1-2 or 0-2, and then plunk them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's frustrating at times, but I like it. Sometimes you try to throw that back foot breaking ball, and you just throw it a little bit too hard, and that was the case. I think the first weekend there was a lot of that going on, and guys just getting a feel for things. But yeah, you definitely, when you get up in the count, that's the last thing you want to do is hit a guy.
Tom, good to hear from you. Don't be a stranger. Time to tell everybody else to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Back with more with the coach coming up.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm Student Government President Jake Drake with Campus News. Nebraska has the most technically advanced buildings in the Big Ten, according to an annual review of universities across the country. Nebraska has also saved over $85 million over the past 17 years by making long-term investments in clean, reliable energy sources, cutting-edge automation, and collaborations across campus.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Husker fans, this is Matt Davison with the 1890 Initiative. You've probably heard about NIL, name, image, and likeness, and now you can have an immediate impact on the success of our programs. The 1890 Initiative is a proud NIL company in Nebraska, and with your help, we can maximize our student-athletes' opportunities with NIL and prepare them for life after college. Nebraska has always been a leader in college athletics. Let's do the same with NIL. To learn more, visit 1890nebraska.com, where 100% of your donation goes directly to Husker student-athletes. That's 1890nebraska.com.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV? What? Oh, no way, dude.
Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agents Jeff Bond or Reed Duvall in Lincoln, or Agent Victoria Watkins in Nebraska City.
Looking for a car buying experience tailored to you? Start with Woodhouse, a trusted partner for automotive needs and a proud member of the Nebraska community. With 18 brands and 21 sales and service locations, our dedicated Woodhouse team is ready to provide you a convenient and seamless transaction from anywhere. Whether purchasing, selling, or servicing, experience the difference with Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
As the Huskers head to halftime, Frank is off the couch and headed for the fridge. Ooh, but he can't make it because he is so cold. The furnace is out again. SOS, he screams, and calls SOS Heating and Cooling, his favorite Luxair dealer trusted since 1950. With Luxair, you get a free 10-year labor warranty with a new system. SOS Heating and Cooling.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Celebrating 50 years in the commercial real estate development industry in Omaha and nationwide, Noddle Companies is proud to continue its tradition of supporting Husker athletics. Check out what's new in Omaha, which includes revolving recreation and the food hall at Zone 6 in Exarban Village. Another exciting project coming soon are the Blackstone Urban Row townhomes. Noddle Companies, creating long-term value through community development. For more information, visit noddlecompanies.com. Go Big Red. Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. 18 brands, huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. It's our first baseball show for the spring. The head coach with us till the top of the hour. In our chat room, female KC Royals fan says, I've got tickets for the 24th for the retirement of the jerseys. What time should my dad and I be in the stands to see that happen?
Well, I think the ballpark usually only opens, 90 minutes prior to, so that probably is going to be, I would assume, similar.
But you'll do the ceremony before.
Well, it'll be
pitch.
before the first pitch,
Yeah.
so I would sometime in between when we take pregame, infield, outfield, and the national anthem. I would say haven't seen the timing sheet yet for that, but we usually take our pregame is 45 minutes prior to the game, so. Then they take it after that, field prep. So I would imagine 20 minutes or so before the game. I'm kind of just shooting off the hip here, but usually those type of things, whether it be senior day or some of these ceremonies typically take place kind of in that time frame there.
What a cool, neat night that should be.
Yeah, really excited about that. That's something that we've talked about since I've been back at Nebraska, and just now really been able to execute the plan. Getting everybody here and just finding a time to do it. It's going to be, hopefully we have a great weather, have a big crowd to honor those guys. And there's certainly maybe some other guys that are deserving too, but we really felt like those three guys just in this era of Nebraska baseball have meant an enormous amount for all different types of reasons, and not just on the field, but off the field as well. So really thrilled to have all three of those guys in the ballpark, and really want to honor them in a special way.
Something also new at the ballpark is you've got these banners hanging over the bullpen in right field that honor the College World Series teams.
Yep, that was something new for this year. And then you noticed the yellow line out there that's already come into play over there in the home run porch in right center. But those College World Series banners were something we felt like we wanted to display, out there. And so we're excited about that. And then obviously the unveiling of the jerseys.
Very cool. All that coming up on the 24th of March. Dorothy Lynch, home-style light and lean dressing, endless flavorabilities. 402-413-2400. Take our final break. Back to wrap up tonight's show next.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Huskers, do you want a fulfilling career that's financially rewarding? Explore the many ways you can be a part of the insurance community. Go to iian.org/careers today. Business insurance is a lot to manage. Did you know a trusted choice independent insurance agent can help guide you through it at no extra cost to you? They'll do your insurance. You just do you. Find out more at trustedchoice.com.
Hey everyone, I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I have some exciting news to share. At Wahlburgers, we are all about bringing the family together to enjoy a great meal and have a great time. That's why right now, for a limited time, kids eat free every day at all Hy-Vee Wahlburger locations. Kids 12 and under can enjoy one free kids meal with any purchase of an adult burger, sandwich, or entree salad.
Bring the family to Wahlburgers and the Wahlburgers and Hy-Vee stores, where right now kids can eat free.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. It's our first baseball show of the spring. The head coach with us for a few more minutes. Want to say congrats to Cole Evans, named today the Big Ten Player of the Week. What a nice job he's done.
Yeah, you hit 800 or whatever it was on a week. You figure it's a pretty big shoe-in. What a cool, again, it's just a testament to the makeup of this team is a guy like Cole who waited his turn and stayed ready. And, you know, the game always honors those guys that are good teammates and that they stay ready and have a great attitude. And, boy, he's really responded in a big way. You know, next man up, you know, Anglem was probably our hottest hitter or one of our hottest hitters when he went down. And Cole has stepped right in. He's a great outfielder, a great base runner, you know, and what an amazing week he's had. And he's also kind of made a little bit of a physical adjustment this week too, and to be able to go implement that into the games right away, man, he's a throwback. Love watching him play. Really proud of him.
Going to hear from him in our pregame show tomorrow night. Let's stay in Lincoln. Gene, you're up next with the head coach. Good evening.
Hi. Good job, Coach. I'm really proud of the season, the way it's going, and all the home runs that you're hitting and doubles. Amazing.
Thanks, Gene.
But my question is, how close is Anglem to getting back?
Yeah, you know, he's working back. He's putting in a lot of work and hours with our training staff. It's typically going to be at least a 2-week injury when you have a hamstring strain. It wasn't a tear. He did have some swelling and some bruising with it. I think it was in a better place. It was a little bit lower part of his hamstring that had happened, which the way I understand it, it's better than it being high up on his leg. So he's back swinging a bat right now, off a tee, doing some front toss. Feeling pretty good, actually. I mean, it was right away. It was having a hard time walking for the next day or two after. But he's really improved. I guess it's been a full week and then some now since he's gotten hurt. So I think maybe cautiously optimistic that we may see him back in action maybe in about another week to 10 days. You don't want to rush a hamstring or soft tissue injury back just because they're so vulnerable to happening again. And so you don't want to lose him for an extended period of time by trying to rush him back, especially with the cold weather. I think that's another thing that's going to play into it. So hopefully a week to 10 days we see him back. Maybe in some capacity, may just be as a hitter before he can go play defense and run bases. But we'll see. But he's working hard. Our training staff's working hard with him, and he's doing everything he can, I can assure you, to get back quickly.
You're back on the field tomorrow night. The Mavericks. Here comes Omaha, and they've done a nice job with that program.
Yeah, I have a ton of respect for Coach Porter and his coaching staff, and they've got good players. They play together well. Yeah, it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be over 50 degrees maybe tomorrow, so it's gonna feel
balmy,
tropical out there. But yeah, excited to have another home game and in-state rival, and you know, hopefully we can get a good crowd and play well.
These midweeks are important, and you'll see some janky scores around the country at midweek. Some teams don't get themselves ready to play, and for a team like Omaha, it's a big opportunity for them.
Yeah, and our guys know with the goals that we have and everything still in front of us, like we need to take care of our home field, and we need to definitely take care of the midweeks and make sure that we do a great job there, and be a good test tomorrow night. Looking forward to it.
Congrats on the start to this thing, and let's go get the Mavs tomorrow night.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Huskers at 6 o'clock tomorrow night again. 3 games of the Nichols series move to Manhattan. It'll be at 11 o'clock on Thursday morning to play the Colonels, and then a doubleheader on Friday down at K-State's ballpark for later in the week. Our Sports Nightly Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Thanks to the coach for coming in. No show tomorrow night. We'll be at the ballpark. 5:30 for pregame coverage, 6:05 for first pitch. Thanks to Cole for steering the ship tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow night from Haymarket Park.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our tractor lineup rated #1 in durability and owner experience, Z Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home select BX Series equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 72 months, plus save up to $800, now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Nebraska Equipment in Seward or North Platte Kubota in North Platte.
You ain't seen nothing. This is Ford Truck Month, America. Time to get up and get into Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 46 years straight. Like the Ford F-150 or the all-new Ford Super Duty. Or check out Ford Maverick and Ford Ranger pickups. So get into Ford Truck Month and see what a built Ford Tough truck can do for you. There's a great selection in stock and ready for delivery today. Based on 1977 to 2022 calendar year total sales.
Did I forget something?
No, just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Students from Nebraska's Johnny Carson Center for Emerging Media Arts helped create visual effects for the Star Wars TV series Obi-Wan Kenobi. This opportunity came from a 3-month internship with Lola VFX, a visual effects firm in Los Angeles. This internship transitioned to employment, with Huskers also